So, The Thunderbolts is out in theaters starting May 2nd, and I'm scared for two reasons. Number one, Marvel is still struggling to get back on its feet, it seems. It's getting better, but still, it seems to be very hard for them to reach the numbers they once did with their most recent films. But more importantly, number two, I know it's not an identical situation, but this group of bad guy heroes rings awfully similar to Suicide Squad. And Suicide Squad has a lot of weirdness surrounding it, as some people claim it's one of the better DC movies out there. Meanwhile, other people are saying that it was a total flop. Both times, actually. And since Thunderbolts is kind of similar to Suicide Squad, I'm worried that a similar thing could happen to this movie. So with that said, I figured I'd take this video to try and examine both Suicide Squad and the Thunderbolts trailer and see if the Thunderbolts movie will be better or worse than what Suicide Squad was. Let's get into it. Up first is the trailer design. Trailers are a relatively easy way to make people want to watch a movie, even if the movie itself is terrible. They're short, mysterious, and it's easy to take all the best scenes out of context to make something really funny and interesting. So unless you have some blatant turnoffs like an all-female Power Girl cast or just bad editing, most people are gonna get hyped for the movie from the trailer. Which is something both Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts have done properly. They've got great timing.
Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
Fun yet fitting music. As well as perfectly timed jokes right at the end or beginning of the music.
You might want to work on your team motivation thing. You heard of Phil Jackson? Yeah, he's like the gold standard.
Can't call ourselves that.
Thank God.
The Thunderbolts. It's a cool name.
So hype isn't really a problem here. Second is character chemistry. Yeah, all these guys have some serious issues, but within Thunderbolts, there's still some sort of depth to these characters. Suicide Squad seemed to have a little less balance with that. Both Deadshot and Harley Quinn had some depth from what I can tell, but the other characters seem to just be thrown in there. However, with Thunderbolts, every character has at least one movie under their belt that they've already existed in, making it easier to throw in jabs at each other as well as bond over their problems. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad just sort of went with the idea of,
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
the third good point about Thunderbolts is actually the music, believe it or not. Something both critical to the trailer and movie is music, and at the moment, most movies seem to be leaning into nostalgic music. I won't go into a full explanation, but ever since Guardians of the Galaxy, Hollywood has seemed to realize that a lot of people of older generations like hearing their 80s to 90s music within modern films. So since then, you've had a lot of stuff like Stranger Things, Pixels, Sonic, The Hardy Boys, Thor Ragnarok, and most recently the Minecraft movie using such music to get older people, as well as new people that are into retro stuff, interested in their films. Thunderbolts is no different, having just a little bit of the song Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie in their trailer. And this is something that Suicide Squad just didn't really focus on. Yes, there were one or two nostalgic songs in there, but their main song behind the promotion of the movie was Heathens by 21 Pilots, which in comparison to some other songs is way more recent. And yet with all that said, I fear there could be some things with Thunderbolts that could be worse than even anything Suicide Squad did. Like the fact that Suicide Squad isn't using any copy characters. I don't know about the comics, but in the movie of Suicide Squad, all these characters are their own. Yes, Harley Quinn resembles the Joker, but she's still different, and all the other characters are undeniably their own characters. However, the Thunderbolts cast mostly seem to be taking on a strange underdog twist from the original Avengers. Yelena Belova is the most obvious, as her supposed hero name is Black Widow. Then there's John Walker, who took on the role of Captain America for a short time, albeit having some serious issues. Alexei Shostakov is another kind of Captain America, as he was the Soviets' version of the hero. Though I could also argue that he resembles a Thor-Hulk mashup with his kind of humor and strength. And then lastly, Taskmaster, which we already have our next Hawkeye with Kate Bishop. So it's kinda strange to have Antonia Dreykov fill in the Hawkeye role for this movie. But at the same time, if we're going for a more bad guy turned good situation, she's a better candidate than Kate, who's actually very pure and means well at heart. The only two characters I'd say out of this team that are original are Bucky and Ava Starr. Winter Soldier is a classic who's borderline an A-team type hero. Meanwhile, Ava is just a very creative character in my opinion. Again, never really read the comics, just going based off of the MCU here. But long story short, I'm worried that they're gonna try and turn these characters into something that they weren't originally. Or at the very least, Yelena will be different. Honestly, what I liked about her so much was that she was so carefree when it came to her quote-unquote job. She was never dramatic or questioning herself. She just took her situation in stride and did well with what she had. But the Thunderbolts trailer made her have a more thoughtful internal dialogue, a lot like Natasha, which again is something Suicide Squad didn't do. Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn. If anything, that was the start of her making it on her own, instead of just being Joker's girlfriend. And now she's probably one of the most loved villainous characters of the DCU. That is something I hope Marvel follows, instead of trying to fill an old character's shoes with a new character that already has an interesting design and personality. And then lastly, one thing that could be considered a plus or minus about Suicide Squad over the Thunderbolts is just how unhinged it is. Suicide Squad is rated R, so much like the hit of Deadpool and Wolverine, there's tons of language, violence, and overall crazy moments in that movie that a PG-13 movie just can't have. So, I mean, if you like that sort of thing, Thunderbolts just isn't gonna be as funny. Not that I'm pushing for it. Again, Marvel has done plenty fine with its PG-13 movies for a long time, so there's really no need for that over-the-top kind of comedy. It's just a notable difference between the two movies. But in summary, those are all the reasons that could make the Thunderbolts a better or worse movie than Suicide Squad. What did you think? Were they some good points, or do you have anything to add? Leave it down in the comments. Overall, I am excited for this movie, which is saying something since I haven't been much of a fan of Marvel's recent projects. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!